Hello and welcome to the Path to Freedom podcast, a weekly podcast with the intention to inspire, empower, and uplift us all to develop a healing consciousness that we, that is you and me, may forever allow for greater and grander versions and expressions of who and what we are to emerge with ease, grace, and spiritual dignity. My name is Daniel Roquillo, and I am your host. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Path to Freedom podcast. This amazing, if I may say so, this amazing podcast about healing and wholeness, about allowing for greater and greater expressions of who and what we are to emerge, about waking up to who and what we are, to who what spirit is, freedom, harmony, peace, joy, and all of that. My name is Daniel Roquillo and I'm the host of this podcast, and so I welcome you here regardless of whether you've been here before or if this is the first time you tune in. Equally welcome. From the bottom of my heart, I welcome you. This week's episode is about health, about physical health. The topic for today is Nia Through movement, we find health. And health has been a theme that has been emerging over the last couple of weeks. We've talked about, or I have shared, last week I shared about my spiritual needs. These 4 needs that I have to sustain my vibration, to lift my vibration. And so one of these needs is physical movement, physical exercise. And what I've not shared is my only mode of exercise. There are many ways to exercise, obviously. You've got yoga, you've got qigong, you've got martial arts, you've got dancing, jogging, running, whatever, biking, hiking. There are many forms of exercise. But over the last, 4 or 5 years, Nia, probably longer even, this kind of exercise called Nia, and I'm not quite sure what it stands for, something with neurons and neurological blah blah blah. I don't know. but it spells Nia, N-I-A. And so I was inspired to dedicate this episode to sharing Nia and explaining what it is and all of the benefits that I reap from it. How much I love it, because I truly, truly do. I truly, truly do. And so I welcome you here. This is going to be, I'm not quite sure on what I'm going to say, but as always, I trust that Spirit is right here where I am, guiding, leading, and moving me. And so it's going to be interesting. As interesting for me to hear what comes out of my mouth, as I hope it'll be interesting for you to hear what comes out of my mouth. But as always, before any of that, let's become still. Allow our bodies to relax, allow ourselves, or give ourselves permission to release and let go of anything that we may have brought with us into this episode. And so I invite yourself, as the music begins to play, I invite you to make yourself comfortable however you've positioned yourself. I invite you to find a comfortable position. I invite you to tap in between your eyebrows, activating that first eye, the spiritual eye. I invite us all to smile. Even if we don't have anything to smile about, let's just smile. Let's inform the body that all is well, that the body may release these tonic chemicals, the oxytocin, and I don't even know the names of them all. But these good for your body, calling forth health chemicals and vitamins and all these things that make the body flourish and stay healthy and vibrant and vital, limber. So let's just smile and let's set the intention for this meditation sitting. And my intentions recently have been upgraded and up-leveled to me sitting to wake up to who and what I am, me sitting to allow for greater and greater expressions of that who and what to emerge, and me sitting to be a greater teacher and healer than I've ever imagined. These are my intentions for meditating. You're free to set your own intentions, obviously, but it's important that we have a purpose with our meditation. And then lastly, let's just remind ourselves that this is the very first time that we're meditating. We may have been meditating for 10, 15, 20 years, but this expression, our current expression, which is a new expression, this is the first time that this expression is meditating. So we want to stay open and available. And I invite us to take a deep and full and cleansing, healing breath, allowing the body to relax. And while we do so, let's place our hands in our lap, palms facing upward, thumb and middle finger touching. Another deep, full breath. And allow this breath to bring us into the stillness, deep into the nowness of this moment. If our mind drifts, let's come back to the nowness in this moment, to the breath. Let's begin again. Come back to the breath and begin again. Come back to the breath and begin again. And as I move us into prayer, I invite you as always to remain with your eyes closed, open, available, to catch the vibration of the prayer, allowing it, giving it permission to lift you even higher. And so in this moment, how grateful I am. How grateful I am for this moment, the nowness of this moment, and the peace that is here, the love that is here, the joy that is here, the wholeness that is here, and the health that is here, the beauty that is here. How grateful I am to this body and for this body that I've been blessed with, for its health, its vitality, its vibrancy, its strength, for all that it does. It breathes, it digests the food, it fights off illnesses and diseases, and it keeps itself whole. And I don't even have to do anything other than being loving to it. It's a beautiful, powerful companion. And I'm so grateful for its companionship, allowing me to carry out that which I need to carry out, to do that which I need to do at this time, in this moment. And I'm grateful for this podcast, for these episodes, and that I get to have this space. I get to have this space. It's a privilege to have this space, this field, to be a participant of this field of high energy and high vibration, of expanded consciousness. And so I'm grateful for your participation, for your being a part of it, for your choosing to be a part of it. Because it wouldn't be what it is if you hadn't said yes to it. So I'm grateful for you and for your yes, for your willingness to awaken, to unfold, to allow for greater and grander expressions of who and what we are, who and what you are, to emerge. So from this space of gratitude, I recognize the allness and the goodness and the eternality of spirit. God is all there is, expressing himself in us and through each and every being, each and every object, each and every space in between objects and beings in all of creation. I recognize and I know and feel God is both the creator and the creation, eternally guiding, leading, and moving, sourcing, fueling, funding, sustaining, maintaining all of creation. And as God is both the creator and the creation, it means that we, you and me, we and God are one. We are spirit expressing itself in us and through us. We're wholeness expressing itself in us and through us. We're love expressing itself in us and through us. All of the essence that God is, all of the qualities that God is, they are expressing themselves in us and through us, in this moment, in every moment. So I know and feel that all is well. In this moment, in every moment, all is well. We are eternally sourced, fueled, and funded, eternally sustained and maintained, guided and moved and led. All cosmos, the whole universe is at the back of us, seeking to support us, uplift us, inspire us, empower us to expand our consciousness, to raise our vibration, to allow for greater and grander expressions of who and what we is, who and what we are, and who and what God is, to emerge. I'm grateful for this sense of lightness that I am experiencing. Something wonderful is. Something wonderful is happening. Something wonderful is always happening. Everything is working for our good, both individually and collectively. I know it, I feel it, I accept it, I give thanks for it. I allow it to be. So it is, and so be it. And so shall it be. Amen. We may open our eyes and welcome back. To this space of health and wholeness. To this space of harmony and peace. And so let's get into the episode, which is about physical exercise, about finding movement through finding health through movement, which is one of Nia's slogans. I've always been very physically active. Since I can remember, I've been doing a lot of sports. I've played hockey, soccer, in indoor hockey, I think it's called. And when I met my wife, and since I was like 12 or 13, I've been doing martial arts, taekwondo, and I loved it. I've loved every minute of it. It's brought me so much good, and I kept doing it, and I was doing it a lot. I was close to being on the national team, and when I tore the ligament in my knee, and I had to stop, and I never quite made it back. Or actually, I came to the realization that there was a life outside of taekwondo, because I was practicing 5, 6, sometimes even 7 days a week. I was practicing all the time. That was my life. I loved it. So yeah, it didn't seem to me as a sacrifice. But uh, when I tore that ligament, I had to stay away for a number of months. I realized that there is a life outside of sports. I had a girlfriend at the time, and she was not very pleased with me being away every single week, every single night to practice, except for Sundays. We had Sundays off. Oftentimes I practice on Sundays by myself, but we had Sundays off. And so I stopped practicing or training that hard, but taekwondo has been with me all through the teenage years and adolescence, and up until when I met my wife. It's like 13 years ago or something like that. I was still doing it, and I was still doing it 4 or 5 times a week. But we had our first son, and practicing that much and having and starting a family, they were not compatible. So I quit, and also my body began to feel the strain. Taekwondo is very explosive. It's very intense. It's a lot of jumping and moving and jumping and kicking, high kicking, and so my body, especially the ligaments in my heels and my knees, they were beginning to feel the tear and wear of this explosiveness. And so I was introduced by my wife to something called Nia. My wife is an instructor, and she brought me to one of her a few of her classes. I remember even as our son was newly born, I had him in like I had him strapped to my chest, and I went to her classes. So it was me and a number of other students doing all these movements with our son strapped to my chest. So that was fun. But Nia, which spells Nia, it's a combination of dancing and yoga and Tai Chi and martial arts. It is a group training, sort of like aerobics or spinning, but it's not. It's very lenient. It's very easy on the body. There are no jumping. It is explosive, but most of it is done grounded on the floor. So there's not a lot of jumping up and down or anything like that. And so gradually over the years, because when I stopped doing Taekwondo, I began running and I began doing other things. But the body didn't respond well to it. And so the aches and the pains, they came and went. They came and I stopped doing whatever I was doing for a period of time, and the pain ceased, and I went back to doing whatever I was doing, and the pain came back. And so gradually, Nia has taken over more and more and more. And since a number of years back, that's all I do. Now, last summer I ran also, but I did feel the effects in terms of stiff joints, and I was not. It was a good cardiac training, running, but the body couldn't quite handle the stress of the bouncing up and down from jogging and running. And so Nia now is my primary and only form of exercise, and I love it. I love it. Before we go any further, I want to share a Nia instructor describing what Nia is, because they can do a whole lot better than I can. It's a short video, so I'm just going to share it with you. So here's the short video.
Nia is more than just a workout. It is a holistic fitness practice addressing each aspect of your life, body, mind, and soul. Combining dance, martial arts, and mindfulness, Nia conditions and strengthens your body while transforming your mind. At Nia, we believe every person can discover, explore, unleash, and enhance their individual potential to live a healthy and meaningful life by engaging their senses and listening to their bodies. Nia is based on the intelligent design of the body. Each workout combines mindfulness and dynamic movement, leaving you energized, mentally clear, and emotionally balanced. Nia workouts combine 52 simple moves with dance arts, martial arts, and healing arts to energize and enliven well-being in 60 minutes, body, mind, emotion, and spirit. Nia is non-impact, practiced barefoot, and adaptable to individual needs and abilities. Nia classes are taught by licensed Nia teachers and trainers in dozens of countries and languages all across the world. Welcome to Nia.
All right, so that was briefly what Nia is about. And what I love about it is that it builds strength. As any kind of exercise, you can choose your own level of intensity, and you can choose your own level of expanding and stretching your limits and the body's limits. And as I've always been very intense when I practice, in everything I do, actually, I always want to stretch the limits. I want to push my limits and the body's limits. And so to me, when I'm doing Nia, it is a heck of an exercise. I mean, I get cardiac training, I get muscle toning and muscle strengthening because I flex the muscles, and I get to I used a lot of my martial arts moves. I've integrated them into the Nia routines. And so even though Nia doesn't ask any participant to do high kicks or high intensive kicks, when I do it, I kick as high as I can, because I enjoy combining my experiences and my knowledge of martial arts into this new form. And so And it absolutely does wonders with the body. I think I shared last week that if I go more than a couple of weeks without doing Nia, I can feel it. I can feel the muscles sort of becoming sloppy and not as toned. I can feel my belly sort of beginning to swell up. I can feel it in my joints, in my knees, in my heels, in my arms. The pain begins to sort of creep in, seep in. But as I do Nia regularly, my God, the body becomes so fit. It is such a fit instrument for me. It is such a fit instrument for me. Like this morning, and I was gonna say that I'm pretty much free from pain, and I am. However, the body, as divinely intelligent as it is, it informs me when I'm pushing my boundaries or perhaps even stepping over my boundaries. And so this morning I woke up with a slight pain and a strain in my back, which is the body's way. Well, the body has two ways of informing me that I need to slow down in some way or shape or form. Either my back begins to hurt, a sort of strain a muscle, or I get sort of a belly pain. Both recede within a day or two. And they come from nowhere. So it's not like I've pulled, when it comes to my back, it's not like I've pulled a muscle. I haven't done any heavy lifting or anything like that. But the pain all of a sudden just begins to appear. And the same with my stomach. It's not because I've eaten anything that my body can't stand or that the stomach can't hold. It's not that I've done anything out of the ordinary. I've just been pushing myself a little bit too much. So I'm very grateful to have realized this. I'm very grateful for this insight and for the once again, the companionship of the body informing me, letting me know when it's time for me to slow down. And so this morning I woke up with a slight pain in my back, like a strained muscle. And when I do Nia, I've been doing it now for, well, I started like 10, 11, 12 years ago, but these last 4 or 5 years, perhaps, that's all I've been doing pretty much. And if you go to their website, and I'll put the link in the description to this episode, there's something called Nia TV. You can do it online, and they have many different routines. Most of them are about an hour, but then they also have, it's quite new, I think. They just recently started with shorter routines. They're 20 minutes. But out of all of these routines, I have 3 that I've used. And these 3 are the only ones I use. It's one that is very intense. I get a real workout from doing that one. And then there's one which is sort of intermediate. It surely gets the blood pumping, but it's not as hard as the first one. And then there's one that is there are no intensity peaks, but it's more of a soothing, healing workout. The first 2, those are physical workouts, which builds healing and builds strength and builds and strengthens the immune system and all that. But those are physical workouts, and the other one is more soulful. The third one is more a soulful workout. And so I put that on. I was standing out on our balcony, which is beautiful. I have a view over the forest, over the fields, over a lake, and it's just a blessing that I get to do my physical workout physical exercise in such a setting with such a scenery. But anyways, I did it, and at first I could feel every move that I made. I could feel this pain in the back. Every move I made, I could feel the muscle straining and being pulled. But as I got into it, the pain receded and it began to dissolve. And at the end, it was almost gone, and it has not come back. And that's what Nia, that is one of the things that I love about Nia. Not only, let me begin here. That is one of the things that I love about Nia. That it is so, like they shared in the video, it's such a holistic workout. He puts no strain on the body. And they have a saying, I'm not quite sure that I'm iterating it right, but they have a saying that if it hurts, take it down a notch, because it's not supposed to hurt. Our bodies are not supposed to hurt. Being sore in a muscle from working out, that's one thing, you know. That's a sign that you have really, put the muscle to work. That you've pushed the limits of the muscle. That you're strengthening the muscle. So that's one thing. That's one kind of pain, but that's not the body informing us that we've pushed our limits. Well, we've pushed the muscle's limit, but we have not pushed our own personal limits. It's not an injury in that sense. But when we feel pain, when we experience pain, it is not, we're wise to seek another way of doing things, to seek another way, period. And they're very clear in Nia about that if we experience pain, we need to find a lower level. Because as they also said and shared, even though it's a kind of a group training, especially if you're doing it in class with them, in person, in an in-person class with an instructor, everyone is at a different level. And it's not about comparing oneself at all. Other than comparing ourselves to who we used to be and to our previous limits and what we used to be able to do. And so if it hurts, if we experience pain, we need to take it down a level. So it's very holistic. And I am so blessed with this body and its strength and its vitality. And obviously there's no way for me to know, but had I not found Nia, had I kept running or kept doing martial arts or playing tennis or anything else, I'm pretty sure that I would be experiencing a lot more pain. Like, I don't know many individuals, and I'm not one to talk about age, because age is insignificant. But I don't know many individuals my age that are totally free from pain. I don't, or totally free from any physical conditions at all. I am never sick. I never get hurt. But this body is a miracle. It's a walking, living miracle. It's a walking, living showcase of divine and perfect health. And I'm so blessed with it. But I attribute it, a lot of it, to Nia. Not all of it, but a lot of it. So it's holistic. But then also it can be very intense. Doing Nia, I get to tone and strengthen every single muscle from my toes up to my forehead. Every single part of the body is included in the workout. And as I said, I get to choose my intensity. Like there are some workouts where the body is not responding very well. It's sort of slow and sort of sluggish. The energy, the juices aren't there. So that becomes a low level workout. Sometimes my mind isn't there. I get distracted. So that becomes another kind of workout. And sometimes I'm really on it, I'm on fire, and those becomes high intensity workouts. I remember doing Taekwondo, and as I said, it's very explosive. So there are brief moments of fast movements, and then there's pauses in between. And I remember during a practice session, during a workout, when I got so tired and my breath was so fast and my heart was pumping so hard that I had to lay down on the floor. I was not able to stand up. And some of these high intensity workouts with Nia become like that. I can't even stand up straight. So I love the freedom to choose the intensity. And even when I'm giving it my all, even when I'm giving it 100%, it does not strain the body. It builds the body. It strengthens the body. It tones the body. But it does not strain the body. It's such a beautiful practice. It was created by this couple called Carlos and Debbie Rosas many years ago. And I think Carlos was a professional tennis player, and if I'm not mistaken, Debbie was a dancer or something like that. And both of them experienced pain and strain in the body. They had injuries, and together they caught that there has to be another way to work out the body, to give it a full body workout. High intensity, but not straining the body, not risking injury in the body. And so they came up with Nia, and it's been evolving and unfolding ever since. So it's beautiful. There was something else I was going to say. Oh, all right. So this may seem as a promotion or a commercial for Nia, but they're not even aware that I'm doing this. So they're not involved in any way, shape, or form. But I was going to say that as we're all unique and perfect individuals, as we all have our path, our unique path, whatever works for each of us works, So it's not like I'm saying that everybody has to do Nia, because I'm not. I just wanted to share it because it has come to be such a major part of my well-being. It's come to be such a major part of my life. So I wanted to share it. And if you try it out and feel compelled by it, that's awesome. If you don't, that's awesome too. So this is more about seeking to inspire and to convey the importance of physical exercise. physical exercise that works for each of us. You know, because our bodies, they are such a blessing. They're miracles. But oftentimes, I'm not going to say oftentimes, but sometimes we sort of tend to neglect them. We put all kinds of non-nutritional foods and stuff in them. Sugar, fried food, and all these things that are not in any way, shape, or form good for the body. That doesn't in any way, shape, or form contribute to the body's health and vitality and strength. But our bodies are an instrument. It's a vehicle that allows us to carry. Oh, I was going to say that too. That allows us to carry out, like I began, to carry out what we're called to do. But if we're struggling with pain or disease or illness or bad health, that takes up a lot of energy just to deal with that. Energy that otherwise could go into being creative and to being of service and to grow and unfold, you know. So it's important that we learn to take care of our bodies, to honor them, like we talked about last week, to honor our needs, to honor our body's need and our body's needs of right nutrition, right hydration, sunlight, movement, rest, being still. Our bodies have needs, and we're wise to honor these needs, to tend to these needs, so that our bodies do not become a liability, but they don't drag us down or pull us down. But we want bodies that lift us up, that support us, that empower us, that allows us to keep moving forward. I was also going to say, in one of these routines that I'm using as a workout, Carlos, he's the instructor in all of these three, but he says something to the effect that behind a healthy body is a healthy mind. Our bodies, the health of our bodies, I mean, health is inherent within each and every single one of us. Harmony is inherent within each and every single one of us. Wholeness is inherent within each and every single one of us. These are the essence of who and what we are. But unless we honor and then unless we create an environment, a mental environment for health and wholeness and harmony to flourish, we block it out. And so our bodies, the health of our bodies, really is the demonstration and the manifestation of the health of our minds. A healthy mind, I'm not going to say creates, but it's because it's not a matter of cause and effect in that sense. But out of a healthy mind, let me put it that way, out of a healthy mind, a healthy body emerges. A healthy body cannot emerge out of an unhealthy mind. When we worry, when we're living in fear, when we're living in complaint, when we're living in bemoaning, when we're living in lack and scarcity, when we're living in a victim consciousness, or we're blaming others, pointing fingers. Such a mind cannot give birth to a healthy body, a body that is strong, vibrant, vital. Sure, we can go to the gym and push our bodies to make them look fit. But unless there's wholeness within us, there cannot be wholeness in our bodies. Because everything is one. Our bodies are not separate from our minds. So where there's wholeness in the mind, there's got to be wholeness in the body. Whereas where there's not wholeness in the mind, there cannot be wholeness in the body. Which is another way why I love Nia so much, because they stress the importance of being still. They stress the importance of wholeness. Body, mind, and soul. Body, mind, and soul. All right, I think we're done. And I think during this episode, I caught that next week's episode will be a guided meditation to call forth this divine and perfect health that is the essence of who and what we are, that is inherent within us. But that's next week. For now, we're going to move into prayer. We're going to move into blessing our bodies. And so I invite you to close your eyes, and I invite us all to relax. Once again, make ourselves comfortable. And let's just shower our bodies with love in this moment. So in this moment, I'm so grateful for this body that I'm honored and blessed with to have as my companion, as my travel mate, as my friend. I'm so blessed with the health and its divine intelligence. I'm so blessed for its ability to sustain its longevity. For its ability to assist me in such a beautiful and powerful way. But for me to travel with. I'm so grateful. From this space of gratitude, I recognize the divinity that flows through my body, that is this body. I recognize the infinite love and the peace and the joy and the harmony and the wholeness that is in this body. That is the essence of this body, the nature of this body. And I know that in this very moment, as I'm lifting myself up and as we are lifting ourselves up into a higher vibration, into an expanding consciousness, our bodies respond with going back in age. We're becoming younger and younger and younger. Our bodies are stabilizing. They're revitalizing themselves. They're energizing themselves. And everything that has heretofore blocked or hindered this intrinsic wholeness and harmony and peace and health and wellness is now being dissolved. Simply because love is all there is right now. The divine love is flowing through us, washing away pains, aches, illnesses, diseases, infections, medical conditions, physical conditions. They're all dissolving in this moment. I know it, I know it, I feel it, I feel it, I feel it. As God and we are one, we are eternally sourced, fueled, and funded. Eternally sourced, fueled, and funded with vibrant help, divine wholeness, strength, vitality. Our immune systems are becoming so strong. We're becoming impervious to disease, illness. As we are raising our vibrations to such a high level that the lower vibrations of disease and illness and pain and discord, they cannot touch us up here where we are. They cannot. So they fall away. Something wonderful is happening in this moment. Something beautiful is happening in this moment. Healing is happening in this moment. Wholeness is happening in this moment. Harmony is happening in this moment. Body, mind, and soul. I know it. I feel it. I accept it. I give thanks for it. I allow it to be. So it is. And so be it. Amen. We may open our eyes. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to this body. Thank you. And I'm grateful for your participation, for you choosing to join me. Until the next time, whoever you are, wherever you are, I bless your body, I bless your day, and I bless your way. See you next time. Namaste.
You have been listening to an episode of the Path to Freedom podcast with me, Daniel Roqueo. I invite you to stay tuned for more episodes. If you have any questions or comments or just want to get more inspiration and empowerment, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. I also invite you to visit my website, danielroqueo.com. I bless your day and I bless your way, you beautiful, wonderful being.